Good evening, good afternoon, whoever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. It's funny how it is, the night, how it draws on around us, almost like someone throwing on a great black cloak. It shields us. It almost feels as if the world contracts to the nearest pool of light in which you stand, for beyond that light there is nothing. There is nothingness. As the hour strikes midnight on the 25th of this month, it does not matter where you are. It does not matter what you were doing or who you were with. Suddenly the world seems to melt away. You could have been sleeping soundly in your bed only to find yourself no longer safe beneath the covers. You could have been raving your heart out in some club, half inebriated, half intoxicated. Because trust me when I say those are two entirely different things. But needless to say, whatever method has occurred, you feel a sudden shift, a sudden lurch. You feel yourself falling for a brief moment until in front of you the world solidifies again. It becomes solid and whole, and you see yourself standing in front of this building. I will go down the line of the four of you, and you may do your introductions. So I'll do Pedro last because he is new. So first of all, we will have Darcy. Darcy,
Yes.
you are the first.
Oh dear, am I the first? Okay. Um. Wow, I was not prepared to be the first. Darcy is well, just going to look around. This is new-ish, and yeah.
You're
First,
not.
first things first. Is there cell connection?
No,
God damn it! But I can still make selfies and post them later. That's
your
good.
phone. Your phone won't turn on.
Oh no! What are you doing to my life? No phone connection. Shit. Hmm. Okay. Is there booze here? Because I need a drink for that.
That depends. Were you carrying booze wherever you were at midnight?
I can imagine Darcy was in fact partying, so why
Yes.
not?
You know what? You will have a mojito in your hand.
Okay, good. Yeah, big gulp of the mojito, and yeah, going up the stairs, entering that place.
Okay. Marcus, you're next. Duncan Campbell, you are more than likely training. Or were you having a good night's sleep? Because you're the kind of boy who gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Fuck's that?
Show some respect, you dodgy wee git! You almost feel as if something smacks you across the back of the head.
Ah! I didn't kidding what that is, but I'm gonna walk into it and kick and knock on the door because it's a building.
All right. You will see Darcy, who has already started to make her way up the steps. She has an alcoholic beverage in one hand.
Oh,
Yeah, probably her shoes in the other hand because does not look like terrain for high heels.
Duncan will run up the thing going, yeah!
What are you doing, you dodgy great git? Scaring the poor dear like that.
I can't scare her. She's a mage. She's...
That's not how any of this works.
I'm sure it is.
All right.
How do you know? Yes, you scared me.
I did not. You wouldn't have had your shoes taken off.
What did you know about what?
I know your life. Of course I do. I'm Scottish.
I will smack you with those heels.
You'll do nothing of the sort. You move slow like a yak. You move slow.
As he says this, Marcus, your body goes entirely rigid. Your arms drop to their side and you lean forward as if to accept being smacked by the heels.
I mean, that is exactly what's gonna happen.
Okay. Lottie, you are up next.
So sad.
Lottie was also partying. She may have been partying with Darcy, and in her hand she's got a huge mason jar full of yellow frothy liquid, and this huge, silly straw with at least 5 different cherries on top, and she'll sip it. This the next challenge?
Lottie, once again, you have been here.
Holy shit! Ooh! I know this place, I know this place. And she'll go and she'll grab Darcy and she'll shake her arm. Darcy, 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 Darcy. I know
What?
this place. I know this
Okay,
place.
I'm very
Guys
happy you
here
do
is super cool.
that. Okay, one thing's first. That guy's a creep. He
Who?
totally
Where?
snuck up on me. Him.
Hold my drink. The fuck you think you're doing? Sneaking up on poor girls? Who the fuck are you?
Darcy pouts. Yeah, he was being very mean.
All right, and last but not least, so Pedro, how's it going? You doing good?
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
All fine.
What
And
would Mark have been doing at midnight?
He would be preparing to go to sleep, so he will be in his pajamas, just
Yep.
ready to sleep because he has classes. He has to give classes in the next morning, so he would be already on his bed.
But the amount of players who've showed up to these scenes, because they tend to happen late at night in their pajamas, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
He may choose not to sleep in his pajamas any longer if this happens.
Oh boy.
Okay, so
From your perspective, you'll blink your eyes closed, but then, as opposed to just the ordinary sedate, quiet sounds of your apartment, you hear rustling of trees, the wind blowing through them, and you hear the sound of crickets chirping. You hear the sound of life around you. You smell cherry blossoms that seem to pervade on the wind, and you feel the breeze brush across your face until your eyes open, and in front of you, you will see this building.
oh, well, I did indeed fall asleep very quickly. This dream is too much real to actually be a dream. And then he looks around, glancing at the people, and he says, okay, this is new. You people look like you are actually people. What's going on up in here?
Sips drink.
I mean-
Sip.
We are people. Hi, I'm Darcy.
Lottie?
Hi, I. He pretty much is stale. He doesn't speak. He pretty much is unaware of who he is at the moment. He's pretty much lost.
Lottie's gonna step closer and kind of wave her hand in front of his face. Bro, you good?
Did we break
Yeah,
already?
I'm Mark. Nice to meet you. Where the hell are we?
Oh, hi, Mark. Gonna
No.
snicker. Real references.
That's really bad. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Mark.
No, hi,
Well,
Mark.
we are here in a place whose names I forget. Probably gonna meet this dope dude. He who knows 10,000 things. Pretty awesome. Don't scream.
This is weird. This is weird. Are you, for any chance, awakened?
Yeah, bro.
I mean,
Oh,
Why you
I was
think I'm so chill?
sorry.
partying earlier, so I'm definitely awake. Yeah.
Okay,
Hey.
I'll
Little
just
high five for the pun.
And then he poked his knees, his pajamas, trying to look for his cell phone, but he didn't bring it with him. It was on the top of his furniture by the right side of the bed. So he's pretty much without any communication. He wouldn't be able to see there is no signal here.
Dude, what do you do? Are you trying to find cell service?
Yes, actually,
No.
I don't have my cell phone with me, so
No, don't worry.
Marcus, do you exist? He is muted, and I need to say something to him.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay. Marcus, you hear in the back of your head your grandmother contemplate for a second. She says, this is a great place of power, but no, this is a great place of wisdom, knowledge. That's interesting.
So what am I doing here then?
I don't know.
Well, Well then, can I continue to run up the wee stairs so I can knock on the door and see who's inside? Then,
Remember your manners.
aye.
Hmm. As Duncan advances towards the door, you will see the door will grind open on its own hinges before he has the chance to touch it.
Following.
How
Yep.
interesting. Um, you will hear carried on the breeze, almost as if the breeze itself is speaking, and it will say, "Hmm, how very interesting." As you step inside, the room itself is this is a pagoda, so you can see all the way to the top. There's only one floor. Ironically, the building itself is entirely decorative. There is a great deep lagoon at the center of this room of crystal clear water that's so deep you can't see the bottom of it. You feel refreshed and revivified here. You feel the weariness of time drop away from you. You feel the effects of alcohol cease. If you were tipsy, intoxicated, that's washed away. You
Damn
feel
it.
no, but it is replaced. You feel good here. You feel as if to the deepest extent of your core, like that energy, your chi, however you choose to call it, you feel as if it flows easily here.
Well, no use for this. She
No.
says, looking at her drink.
I mean, but
I'm
that
just
doesn't
gonna
mean
drink
that
it.
I was gonna say it doesn't mean that it doesn't taste nice. So Darcy's
She's
also
gonna
just gonna drink.
cheers with Darcy and chug.
As you bring the alcohol to your lips, it is now pure, clean water.
Aw.
Chugs anyway. Glug, 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 glug.
Yeah, sure.
Refreshing,
Why not?
no matter how.
Is
I
there
mean,
free flowing quintessence here? No.
Yes, the water itself, if you look through Prime Sight, is composed entirely of quintessence. The quintessence itself has a resonance of wisdom, calm static, and the flow of information. It's almost like you're looking.
At the top, that
Sorry, what were you saying, Marcus?
you can say almost like you're looking into what?
Almost like you're looking into a great pool of the collective, not necessarily the collective unconscious, but the collective pool of human thought.
It's the Akashic record. Anyway,
Kind of.
uh, Duncan will announce himself and give his whole like lineage intro.
From the water, you will see two huge, luminous eyes appear before, in a mixture of smoky, in a mixture of smoky illusion and physical presence. This figure rises from the water to look down at you all.
oh, he's cute.
Lottie will bow and then wave.
Hmm.
Hi again.
Hmm.
Mark is just smiling very quietly, just pondering about things and feeling the flow. This fits exactly his paradigm, so he's just enjoying how well it fits it.
The draconic figure looks down at you. Its eyes are filled with benevolence. He radiates a very positive sense, if that makes sense. There's very little negative about him, as he says, "You are the ones who walk the path of the challenge in order to gain the azure key into the presence room of the august personage of Jade. Yes.
Yes, we are.
Hmm. You, I know. You came here once before in order to find how you would make the entire city dance. I remember your face.
It was
You
the most
cried,
beautiful thing I'd seen.
you cried a single tear into my waters. It was something that I find hard to forget. Hmm.
Hi, he who knows 2,000 things. Give it a wave.
For those of you who do not know, my name is Shi Shi Shen Wang, he who knows 10,000 things. I am also the keeper of many secrets for the august personage. I am pleased to make your acquaintance.
Mark bows down his head on a little bit and say, "A pleasure to meet you."
I sense in you, he says, as he comes down quite close. Once again, the head is huge, but he comes down to about a meter away from Mark and he says, I sense in you a fellow scholar. Am I correct?
Indeed, you are.
Hmm. Good.
And by the way, how acquainted are you with Nordic traditions?
I know many things, as I have said.
Therefore, you may know a lot about the greatest one of wisdom of the past and the future. She salutes you, quite possibly, as well.
I am well acquainted with her, and I thank you for your salutations in this regard. Hmm. And you are two or more people, sir. I sense the weight of centuries upon you. The warrior that is, in order to be the warrior that should be. A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Campbell.
He just stays quiet, nodding respectfully.
Duncan, do you acknowledge the fact he greeted you?
Duncan's like he kind of looks at the new person and he inclines his head.
Hmm. And last we have Darcy Ellsworth, someone who does not know the significance that she has, but will one day come to see it.
I mean, that's not entirely true. I'm pretty well aware of my significance.
By the way, Saskia, out of character, have you seen the Never-Ending Story?
Oh yeah.
I'm going to make a gigantic leap for your character. He kind of contemplates for a second. He says, what is Falcor, and why do you wish to ride me in such a way?
I mean,
Looks at Darcy. Yeah, I can see it.
I already, I already did ride on a dragon before. Do you know the Dragon of Thunder? He's a friend of mine. But yeah, I would really love to meet a luck dragon. And are you a luck dragon?
Hmm, an interesting concept. No, I am not a luck dragon. I
Oh.
am, hmm, I am a dragon that protects wisdom and guards thought.
Hmm.
There is
I
a dragon. There is a dragon of chance, if you would ever care to meet him. His name is Faizu Long.
Oh, I always knew him as Falcor, but that's close enough.
Hmm.
Face palm. 1 second. There, face palm.
So, you have come to me in order to take the test of the higher soul, the test of the hung. You have passed the test of the po. The hang is reason, logic, and clarity. It is separate from the po, desire, fear, the base things of the human instinct. I sense that there is much emotion within many of you, within three to be exact. If I may say, before I administer this test, this is not about what you feel. It will never be. This is about clarity. And I hope that you'll remember that when you must give your summation.
Thank you for letting us know.
Hmm.
Clarification is good to know when it comes to these challenges.
Unlike many of the other guardians, I wish for you to succeed because I understand the nascent good that exists at the center of all humanity. You create beautiful things, even if sometimes you are mired by your own ignorances. But then again, I have faith in the ability for you to do the miraculous. So in this I place my faith. Now then, he fully emerges from the water now, and you see he starts to stir the water with a clawed fingertip or a clawed or talon tip. And the water starts to churn, starts to swirl. And he says, "This is a simple case. I place in your hands a single life. When this is over, you will take this life, or you will save it. That is your trial. I will present to you the evidence that can either damn this person or save them, and you must make the decision as to which you would choose. This decision is binding. If you choose death for them, then they will die. If you choose for them to live, you will have to allow yourselves to live with the consequences of that decision. And you must explain in a well-reasoned and codified way why it is that you have made this decision. Sans emotion, with clarity. That is your challenge. Do you understand?"
Absolutely.
Yes.
Good. Good.
No,
Hmm.
I
And
don't get it.
what element confuses you, Mr. Campbell?
Well, the first part of it is why me? Why am I here? What's this all got to do with me?
Hmm. The mages, awakened beings, lightning people of Dublin agreed to undertake the trials of the august personage of Jade. You are one such person, and were chosen to undertake this trial.
For what purpose?
In order to gain the second last key, so that you may open his throne room to speak with him.
And why do I want to do that?
I don't know. That is not for me to. Oh, I do know, but that is not for me to tell you. He looks at the others. That is for them.
Gladys will put her thumbs up. I'll explain to you. We're,
Okay, I'm listening.
we're trying to bring back a friend, a spirit that was cleaved in two. He's not whole anymore, and he's he's important to a lot of people. And the awakened community was nice enough, understanding enough to undertake this. If you don't want to undertake it, then that's understandable. But
That goes without saying.
What was
sorry,
that,
can
sir?
you repeat that, Marcus?
I said that goes without saying.
Well, then you can just walk with us until this is over. We either fail and die, or we succeed and keep on moving.
Now who's the spirit then?
The Monkey King. Song Hongu.
Oh, you didn't say it was someone I owed a debt to.
Well, then, there you go. I don't want to assume that you know him.
Ah, yes. As you look down in the water, you will see the Monkey King fighting a great horned creature made of with green leaves covering most of his upper extremities. You said certain words once, Marcus. Or sorry, you said certain words, Worth Duncan Campbell.
Oh, I spoken before witnesses.
Hmm. You
I even,
prayed. Hmm?
I even held the staff for him for like a half a second.
Those were the truest prayers of a truest heart you spoke that night. There are value in such things.
So, let's get a show on the road then.
Very well then. The pool of water in the center of in the center of the room churns and churns. It becomes black, inky darkness until eventually a face will form in the center of it. One moment, I'm just going to get up a new picture. There it is. You guys will see this girl's face in the water. I believe.
Ooh,
Hmm?
Lottie knows her.
I was going to say, I think Lottie knows her. This girl, her name when she was born was Emily Mackenzie. She doesn't remember that now. That is not of any great import. You are shown a young child, clearly a younger version of this girl. She is sitting in a backyard, a very nondescript backyard, playing with a doll. And you can see the fact that she makes the doll walk by itself, as in the doll moves entirely without her touching it. You then see a slightly older version of this girl tied down to a surgical table, screaming her lungs up, as you see a doctor with a very high-tech looking drill in his hand before he looms in over her. You then see a very plain white padded room that the girl has been left in. You see her coiled and in the fetal position against one of the walls of this padded room. You see her scream, and every time she does, the room itself shudders ever so slightly. You see you see orderlies outside, afraid to enter for what might happen to them. You see those who do. At one point, one of them is carrying a fairly innocuous tray that contains food, very kind of cafeteria-like style food. As he enters the room, he will start to uncontrollably stab himself with the knife that is located on the meal tray. You will then see another man in a top hat wrench open the door as the building is on fire, and he carries this girl out, her face streaked with tears. Following this, you will see her sitting in an auditorium, and you will see many different faces around her, and occasionally she even smiles. However, every time she is sad, every time she cries, this is rather disturbing. Whenever you see her genuinely sad, the image will flick to an entirely different room, an entirely different area, still somewhere in the local area. You'd assume still within the city limits. You see people, ordinary, day-to-day people, people who are holding down casual jobs, people who are holding down everyday jobs, people who have families, some people who are single. There doesn't seem to be a rhyme or a reason to it. You see them kill themselves, throw themselves from buildings, hang themselves, slice open their wrists. And then Shishi Shamwang stops and he says, "This girl, since her liberation from the Technocratic Union, has killed 32 people without ever realizing that she's done so. Her emotional resonances are spread from her physical form and infect others. Essentially, when she reaches a state of such abject loss or sadness, it is reflected outwards and magnified until it finds another individual whom bears the brunt of this emotional manipulation. This is no fault of hers. She does not know that she does so. It is merely the fact of her conditioning via the entities you would call the technocratic union. However, 32 lives have been lost so far in her 5 years of freedom. This will continue to happen until such point as she is stopped. She is a victim, yes, abused, brutalized, beyond what many would consider to be the pale of normalcy, the pale of normality. So, I ask you, your challenge, simple. Should she live, or should she die? I await your answer. If you require points of clarification, I can answer questions as you desire them. This, on a side note, really fucks up Lottie because Lottie has spent time with this individual and knows that she is a lovely, sweet, caring individual, and this is really horrible. Continue.
Lottie's face is just gutted. Normally, lush, dark skin is sallow, sad. The eyes are big and wet, and she kind of hunches over herself, kind of curling her middle, kind of thinking, God, what happened to her? What happened to her? She 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 hasn't thought of that sweet girl in a while, but that's because she thought she was safe. She didn't realize that she was still hurting, and she should have spoken. She should have looked harder. What happened to those kids? God, Lottie's gutted. She hurts. She hurts so much. She's letting people down left and right, and she doesn't realize it. And now, just does she? Is this a punishment for the girl, or is this a releasing? She's shaking her head. She's thinking no answer is correct, and that's the point of the challenge. It is only an answer, but either way, someone is going to get hurt.
Mark kneels down, touching the water a little bit, washing his hands, and then he keeps quiet, pretty much listening to what the others are going to say.
As you touch the water, I was going to say, if you had spent any quintessence, I don't think you have, it refills your avatar.
Okay, it's fuel, so it's fine.
Okay.
This is mean. It's not her fault. She shouldn't be. No. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, it's not her fault. She shouldn't be hurt for it. She should be helped.
There's no way to. How?
Well,
He who knows 10,000 things. Where is she? If you can tell us.
Currently, she is located. He closes his eyes and he seems to contemplate for a moment. Currently, she is located in the theater that is owned by an individual named Nightshade.
So she is being watched over by Nightshade still. That's good. He had said that she wasn't.
And the problem as it presents itself is he is unaware that this happens. She is unaware that this happens. Everyone is unaware that this happens.
And yet it continues to happen with
Correct.
no evidence of correlation, no
But-
evidence of fault.
but isn't that the answer then? Shouldn't we like make people aware of this happening? Like, I mean, we can't help her if she's dead, right? And
But
she's like looking at Lottie, like, "Huh?"
We can't.
No.
There's also the fact that at any moment more people could die.
Okay, but we can try and help her and not like I don't want people to die, but I don't want to kill someone for the fact that this is happening to her. This is not her fault.
There is one victim here that we are not speaking loudly, which is not only her as it is now, but her past self. That person, that who knows a thousand things, is that
Hmm.
person still alive?
Hmm. He tugs on on the long moustache that he has, and he will say,
Mustache.
"Moustache." And he will say, "Hmm." She became a pawn in the games of these technocrats a very long time ago. Her body was broken, her mind shattered apart, only for them to put them back together innumerable times. She showed but great potential promise in what they would refer to as the field of new psionics. They were willing to do abominable things. As to if her true self or her better self still remains, the answer is she is now what she is, and these two things are immutable. She is herself now, through the pain she has been created, through the loss she has been molded, and through the breaking and rebuilding she has been tempered.
So, is it fair to assume that the one that she is now, which is all that matters, is pretty much not the face that we saw at the start? He turned, and then Mark turns to Darcy and says, I do believe that her heart was once very pure, and she does not deserve to die. But I do think that the girl you were talking about may be already dead, but dead in a sense, not physically, but long gone, to be forgotten.
Hmm.
So what are you saying with that? Like that's all a lot of big words. That's all great and everything, but what are you saying that we should kill her because like she's doing something, she's feeling something, and that kills other people?
He smiles and says, I get that a lot, so then let me just do it. He stands up, washing his hands still with the water, unaware of the purity and the energy that flows within it. And then he says, yes, to kill her, yet through a very specific course of action, which is to avoid a relentless force of destruction. There is pretty much not much that we can do to make it stop through deviating its force efforts. We can only halt it, cutting at its core. And the core of all the destructive forces that lie on her are her body and her pieces and whatever is left of her.
So you're
But it's
saying,
still snuffing out a life.
I mean, come
It
on.
gets rid of any potential she may have to
Yeah.
control this.
Besides, like if we can help Hope, if we could help Hope after like that fucking idiots kind of attacked her, then surely we can help her. Just have to want it very badly.
But what happens if she gets sad when we are close to her? There is no effort that we can do. There's possibly not effort that
So
the one
then
who
what?
knows about things.
Hmm.
What's the worst that could happen? One of us could die. I mean, that's fine. I don't mind.
So, it is not
You
that
stop that, Darcy.
it is not that one of you could die. This is not a specific target. It is those who are emotionally vulnerable. He is saying that if you were to confront her and she was to feel the weight of what she has done, many more innocents unconnected to you could meet their end.
But who says that she needs to know? Like, we can tell her after we've helped her, right?
No, she would need to be told, I think, in order to fully understand. Is
But
there a way we can ask her?
One
Her
of
own
the
permission.
other things, I have one question for you, and I
Hmm.
need a straight answer.
Hmm.
What if we destroy what she is, but not the body or the physical piece of what remains in there? We
On.
shatter her mind once again, so then we can rebuild it ourselves.
I
Hmm.
I could probably do that.
That is. Hmm. You see,
In a way, we would be killing the killer.
Yeah,
the issue is that even if you were to shatter the mind, it would still remain an underlying premise. This was inherently the design. In order to give an explanation, I believe Mistress Lottie had already been informed of this. The individuals under Nightshade's care were all experiments from this technocratic union. However,
Monsters that they are.
however, they were all defective in the eyes of the technocrats. Miss Emily's defection was that she was meant to make individuals wish to and control them via her presence or her thoughts. She was meant to be an infiltrator, I believe the correct word would be. Then they found that she could not control her problem, she could not control her powers. They made her what she is. So even with the death of her personality and the rebuilding of a new mind, there would still be this underlying problem.
Which means we wouldn't be able to fix it. Because she would still have the ability to unintentionally murder just by emotion. If
I
we were to
can.
move her to a different space,
So you would seek then to imprison someone who has known nothing but prison.
what prison? Thinking maybe bringing them to the Umbra, giving them more ability to be themselves, but it wouldn't work because then if she was with her family, she could accidentally hurt them as well.
What if we fix the trauma?
yeah,
Hmm?
like that's kind of what I was thinking as well. We can just kind of heal her, like I did with Hope.
Well, here's the thing. Whenever she feels great sadness, everyone is it's amplified and all that. So, which begs the question: why isn't the reverse true?
Hmm. I believe it is because it is easier to amplify negative emotions than it is to amplify positive ones.
Well, be that as it may, a mage is one such as us, lightning dancers, whatever you call us. Our worlds are what we make it, what we shape it, the way we see things or the way things are, on a very small, infinitesimal, tiny, I'm not as awesome as you are kind of scale.
Hmm.
Which means that this is a deliberate thing, a specific thing, something that has been done, and anything that can be done can be undone. So,
There are a small handful of individuals in your world who would possess the ability to do so. Yes.
but a
Well,
mage
that's
can
not what
always do it to themselves.
or we could try it with a group. Maybe we're stronger as a group.
Nah, no. What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, the wee lass, what was done to her, but what really was done to her. He said it himself. You'd have to be somebody we'd hired of to be able to enact something to make that happen. However, If you could convince someone to do it to themselves, that's something that could be done easy.
Unfortunately, that is correct, Mr. Campbell, but this young lady lacks the quintessential avatar. She does not possess your spark.
It's, I wouldn't say artificial, but forced. What the technocrats did to those kids was unnatural in the worst of ways.
But the thing that's half done, what if we finish the job?
You can't force an awakening, especially because there's no awakening to start. It's like you're trying to build a building off of jello. It's not going to
Aye,
work.
aye. However, when you're standing in the sum total of the wisdom of the ages, nothing's impossible.
Nothing is impossible. But should it go wrong, it's going
Well,
to go very wrong. Here's the thing: we don't even know if she would be able to accept it.
we don't know because we haven't tried it.
We don't want to break her. She's already been abused by the technocracy.
Well, our intent was to do harm. Our intent is to not do harm, or our intent is to destroy. So before we move on, what say ye? Do we save her, or do we end it now?
I want to help her,
Because
but
she's
I don't want to
Henry.
force her. I don't want to make her do anything against her will because I think that ultimately is going to make her unhappy. It has to be something that she wants to. I feel we should maybe just, find a way to sort of explain the situation to her and let her choose.
He already said, you guys have never met her. I have. She learned this. She's not going to be the same, and there's no way we can explain this to her without telling her what's going on. This is going to break her. It's going to hurt a lot of people. It may
I
be
mean,
kinder to let her rest.
but not more. That's not humane. That's like, I mean, I would want to know if my emotions would do something to someone. I would like to know.
Well,
Free will is important. Come on.
well, actually, here's one thing that I have a question. I'm positing, and I'm not saying a thing. I'm asking a thing. The
Hmm.
people that what's affected by her ability, have any of them ever been awakened like ourselves?
No.
Hmm. So, if we brought her to a place where we was the only people what could be affected by it, and we told her the thing, and gave her the time it took to come to terms with it, and work with her, could she not live?
Hmm. As I have said, in your world there are 6 individuals who possess the abilities to fix her.
Do we
These
know
are.
of any?
Hmm.
Why should we limit ourselves to our world?
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, let's first try and see who those people are and see if we can contact them, see if we can help her.
Well, the question isn't for them. It's not their test. It's ours.
No, but like,
We can't seem to come to an agreement.
no,
Well,
no,
the,
no, no, no,
Yes.
no, no. There's one thing that we can agree on because the answer was simple, right? We have to decide whether she lives or dies. If we say that she lives, no matter what we are going to do, like, does any one of us actually want to kill her?
You also have to justify your answers.
Okay, but we can what I'm thinking is if if we all want to help her, then it doesn't matter how we want to help her. But the answer is still yes, she will live because we will try to help her.
One
But
could
And
say one could say that killing her's helping her too, lass.
Mm-hmm.
and that's the point. She's not more than a victim of this whole thing as well. And the thing is, if we think only about her, I would definitely go and save. That's a no-brainer. But when you
But
think
it's not just
systematically,
her.
exactly. So it's systematically thinking the impact is far broader than what we imagine. It's not only 32 people that are going to die. If she keeps alive, who knows how many people end up dead. If she gets stronger, even though she's aware, she may get a depression and then fall down all the way again. We cannot control whatever's going to go that way.
And that's going to be a massive amount of pressure because he says it's whenever she's sad. On a day to day basis, how many of us get sad?
I'm a pretty upbeat guy.
And if you say spill your coffee, what happens?
I
For
don't drink.
you, fine, you spill your water.
Oh,
What happens? You get upset
oh, I.
and then you move on. But for her, it could be that somebody, some mother in Ghana, completely collapses while she's trying to help her child. Boom, orphan. How do we equate one life to many? I love this girl, I do. But it is a hard question.
Well, it's only a hard question if we answer more than the question that was asked to us. And the challenge, sir, if I remember, is simply does she live or does she die? And we have to justify it. Right?
justifying your answers from a position that is not an emotional one, this must be to the benefice of all. Or rather, the answer must come from reason, must come from clarity, as opposed to coming from an emotional bent.
Is there is there any argument, not emotional one, for us to keep her alive? And by not emotional, I mean I do care about her. I feel completely bad about it. I wouldn't like to get my hands dirty, and that's on my perspective emotional. And that's pretty much the only reason I don't want her dead. I don't know her. I have no empathy for her. She does look like a very kind girl. She does look like a very good spirit, but that's it. And thinking about again the whole setup of things, it's our duty not to allow more innocent people to die because the girl that we saw initially, the girl that she was, no longer exists. That's recoverable. It is, but it's a slight chance that we can do it if we can assign roles and duties and time to find the perfect person to fix it. It's a heroic duty. We may be heroes, but the logical sense, on my perspective, will be to put an end of it, to put an end to this flow.
Well, the simplest argument is two wrongs don't make a right.
That's not illogical.
Sure it is. Our whole thing is our whole basis here is about whole universal harmony and all that jazz. Well, two negative forces have done come to play. They would come to play. That have never been rectified. It is an imbalance. She's a walking imbalance. Balance must be set. A terrible thing has been done. A good thing must be done. That's balance. That's how the universe works.
What would be the balancing thing to do then?
Well, that's not the point. The
No, it
point is
is a point. It is a point. What would be the balance then? We keep her alive, and what? Wait, how much longer until we can balance her? This act of mercy, is it a mercy? Because when
living.
she learns about what happens, how do you think she's going to react?
Living doesn't mean walking around, lass. We put her to sleep till we find out the person that can help her. Then they bring that person to her. Then they help her, and she lives her life.
We have no idea if that'll work.
We do what? Putting her to sleep is easy. She's a person, isn't she?
We don't know if it'll stop it.
We don't know what. We have. We have a whole slew of don't knows. But in the greater scheme of things, the whole greater scheme of things, wisdom must prevail. And the wisdom and the wise thing, the non-emotional thing, of course, that answer is to what? What is the non-emotional answer here?
That it's not up to us to judge.
Yeah.
Well, you can't really cop out on that. That's not allowed, is it?
I mean,
Is it?
does that matter?
Aye, it does. Because the person before us has said, you subset of people, you are the ones that I will pose this question to, this question of wisdom. And you say, I abstain.
No, I don't abstain, but I don't feel that for me. I am not someone who can look at a situation without any emotions. None of us can. We have these integrated in our system. Just as much as when I like whack my heel at you, you will feel pain. It's part of our system. We can't shut it out. There will always be emotions involved. We are as flawed as she is, or as anything in our world is. Isn't it the wisest answer that we do not know the right answer? Because we do not have all the knowledge, nor will we ever have. And we can't see this without our emotions.
So if we can't do that and we don't have that much wisdom, then why do we deserve to speak to the oldest percentage of the Jade then?
Because we recognize that we don't have the wisdom. That we are not that amazing.
The tests were set so that the august personage of Jade would meet with those whom had proved themselves worthy, had proved themselves to be worthy of his presence, that they had within them the light that could see them through to tomorrow.
If so, then Darcy is right. There's no way, at least myself, I can say that I understand that I don't know the right answer to this, or the most emotionally detached answer. I don't know the logical answer.
I will remind you guys because I think only Lottie and no, Lottie and Darcy will know this. You guys do still have two tokens. One of which is the Wisdom of Tripitaka, and the other which is the Stewardness of Sandy. There we go. I always forget that one. Basically, it
Evan,
enables you to ask their advice.
Evan, question
Mm-hmm.
is this the second to last challenge?
Yes. There's only one more after this.
All right. Then she'll turn to Darcy. Do you want to use one of the pearls?
I mean, on the one hand, no, but on the other hand, I don't know if we will come to a conclusion here.
What's a pearl?
We can confer with an aide, a spirit who is an acquaintance, or rather, who is a good friend of the Monkey King. We have three. We had three. We traded one in to save the lives of some others. We have two more. We could ask them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
May I state one question before you do that?
Of course.
Duncan looks really uncomfortable thinking. Then, then he says, so This girl does bad things when she's sad, yeah?
Yes,
She's got no control of it then, yeah?
exactly.
Yeah.
And the question is simply, should she live or die? And then we have to say why in a non-feeling way.
Yeah.
Precisely.
What feelings aren't we allowed to have?
None.
Is that what he said then?
No, no, we can have feelings, but we're not supposed to let our feelings guide us in this matter.
Perfect. Yes.
I know I am. Thank you.
And that there's the pool of all the sum total of wisdom and all that then, right?
Yep.
So when we came here, all the things that was different and changed, like did did anything change when we came here?
Not that I am aware of. Pretty much our location, I think.
Did you have anything on you, in you, about you that was that was going on that changed when you came here?
Well, my
No, that
cell phone
I'm
battery
aware
is
of.
dead.
Anything else?
Are you trying to say that we can't get removed from our emotions?
No, I'm saying
No.
if this place changed us or altered us when we were brought here,
Well, I was feeling sleepy because I was tired, and then now I'm just fully awakened up to the point that I thought I was dreaming.
I think I think I understand what you're yeah. Because our alcohol, like I had a mojito, that was water.
Oh,
so those are what kind of things?
Mm, they're good things.
They're
they
unnatural things.
yes,
And trust me, a mojito is definitely a good thing. And I wish I had more of it right now.
What I'm saying
yeah,
is this
but
place can change unnatural things and put you right.
So you
I think
mean to say that if we say to let her live, maybe bring her here and have her fixed up?
That would be, I mean, that's my theory.
that makes
And
a great sense.
it's
That makes a
logical.
great sense.
It's not
I
tainted
love
by
it,
emotions.
Mister. Who knows a ton of things? Can
Wait,
we choose the conditions in which she keeps alive somehow?
If you choose to make them, then you are bound to keep them.
Can you bring her here now?
That is beyond my remit.
If she comes here, will her feelings dismiss as ours did? These unnatural things dismiss as just happened with us when we came here?
I mean, wait a minute. That's not right, is it? We didn't
mm,
lose any feelings. We lost physical state. We were being drunk,
and
sleepy.
tired.
Those are not feelings. Those are conditions that your
It's not
body.
it's
That
not her feelings that was unnatural, it's what was done to her that's unnatural.
yeah, but it's her
Exactly.
feelings that kill stuff.
Yeah,
If
she's got a point.
but the
Like if you're
unnatural
just gonna
thing,
take her away and you place her into a completely strange environment, she'll be scared.
what I'm saying
But
is it's deeper, it's deeper than that. It's another layer of it. The thing that was done to her is the unnatural thing. If the unnatural thing that was done to her is removed, then she's just a regular person, isn't she?
Here's the thing. You would have to undo years of abuse. That would take longer. It's not so much for being at a place that changes your state of awareness. It would be we would have to have someone fix her brain.
So
I
you,
think if maybe asking he who knows 10,000 things for the knowledge to know one of the six who can fix her,
Yeah, I think that makes
that might
more
be
sense.
a better place.
but
But
here's
guys,
the,
what you're
It was
saying, no, but what you're saying is this, and Darcy will have like her empty mojito glass, and she'll just smack it on the ground, and it probably breaks. I'm gonna assume.
Darcy. Why?
No,
Darcy, why?
what happens is, as you throw the glass on the ground, the glass would shatter. However, it turns to dust before it does.
Looks at
That's what happens
Darcy.
with broken
Uncalled for.
stuff.
Here,
That's what happens with broken stuff.
this is a place of quiet contemplation. Please do not create unnecessary noise.
It
Apologies.
wasn't unnecessary. I was proving a point.
Mm.
The thing is, if you break a plate and then you bring a plate here, you will still have a broken plate. Whether it was broken because someone smacked it, or whether it was broken because like it happened in a magical or a natural way, you will still have the result, which is a broken plate. The broken plate won't suddenly be fixed when you bring it here.
Lass, you're looking at it the wrong way. What I'm
This
what
That's how you stated, though.
no
this
what
is a
what I'm
sacred place that is only allowed access to those who find their path here. It is not a place that is open to any individual whom you think, feel, or believe should be allowed to walk through these doors.
We understand. We apologize for that. Looks at Duncan. Dude, we have to come up with a new idea. Because if not, then the best tactic would to be put her out of.
well, that would
To
be
be
the
put her
easiest.
away.
That'd be the easiest. It wouldn't be the best.
Easy for who? Do you know her? Do you think me saying this is easy? Because if so, you can go fuck yourself. This is one of the hardest things I'd have to think about. I've met this girl. I've met this sweet soul.
I would really like to go fuck myself right now.
There, Darcy. In the privacy of our own home. Nothing about this is easy, Mr. Duncan. Please, keep those thoughts to yourself. It's not easy, and it's an insult that you would suggest it. When I say and I suggest that maybe, putting her out of her own misery may be the better option. It's not just because that is an option that has the most ground here. It is the option that maybe she is suffering. She may not know that she's hurting people, but I can bet you everything I own that should she find out, her suffering will be tenfold and she'll hurt more people and then herself. It's not just people we have to be aware of, it's herself as well. So, no,
Just,
it's not easy.
I have a question for you. Are you certain that she would hurt herself?
Yes, I am.
Would she kill herself?
I think she would try, and that her family would try to stop her and may get in the way. Because I've met these people. Knight Trade is a wonderful man, and all of the children that he hopes are beautiful kids, sweet kids. She wouldn't do it. If she knew, she would do action against herself so that she wouldn't possibly hurt them on the off chance. Even if we explain it to them that she's only killing unawakened in the mundane, it wouldn't work. She'd still be afraid.
Would she be able to bear the fact that whenever she feels sad, someone may die?
No, she wouldn't. She'd crumble.
Would it be fair to say that, regardless of her strength, in the end, she would put an end to her life, regardless of what we try to do, unless we fix it, of course?
If she doesn't know, I can't say that she would.
But if she knows.
But if she knows, I don't see a path where she wouldn't at least attempt it.
Okay, so then we have three different scenarios here. One of them, we finish her. That's one. Second one, we keep her alive as is, and then she keeps killing people. And the other option is we keep her alive and then we try to fix her or tell her what's going on. Those two last ones are definitely the riskier ones. The middle one that I mentioned, which is just let her be, is definitely not an option. And the first one, to kill her, would be the fastest and the slightest one to go with this. So, in the case of the third option, which is to either tell her or try to fix, would you all be willing to ask for one name of the 6 people that will be able to help us to fix her?
Who'd she kill then?
I'm sorry.
Who'd she kill?
She's
I,
killing Monday.
I
When?
can give you a full list of their names if you'd like.
Well, here's
Yes, please.
here's what I'm asking. Wisdom's all about figuring out. This question is about wisdom based on logic and fact and all that, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Okay. So the first thing we have to ask is we're assuming all the facts that we have are the facts that we have.
Oh shit! Hang on. By the way, brain. Lottie, were you going to use one of the pearls, or were you not? Because I know that conversation. You said yes, and then that conversation kind of got sidetracked.
We haven't actually, I guess, used it yet. What's
It's probably still in Lottie's hand.
yeah.
So I would say after he's done asking, she's gonna use the pearl to ask Chepataka.
Okay. He does seem like the smart one. Sorry, continue with what you're saying, Marcus. Evan just had a brain moment there. He's like, "Oh shit, did that actually happen?" And I completely glossed over it.
Yeah, really, really simple. So the facts that we have in evidence, and they're facts, is that she's killed how many people?
32.
60.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, it is 32. My apologies. You are right. I actually read my notes upside down. That's correct.
How did she kill him?
Her grief, magnified, was implanted into their mental state, and they took their own lives.
How?
By hanging, cutting their wrists, jumping out of the buildings.
No, not how they die. How does it work?
Oh.
Essentially, it had originally been intended to be a weaponized. How would one phrase? A weaponized ability created by the Technocratic Union that she would be able to impart her emotions onto others, thus emotionally manipulating them. However, unfortunately, it was created in a way that meant only negative emotions could be passed in this way, and it was impossible for her to determine the correct targets. So whenever her emotional state reaches a certain pitch, it is magnified and sent. Thus, these individuals feel an abject sense of loss and sadness beyond anything you could contemplate and seek only for it to stop.
So, can you undo it?
Yeah.
So it can be undone.
Yes.
So, why do we need to kill her?
Because you do
Because
not
it's a
know.
choice.
You also do not know where it will strike. So, whereas you can stop an individual who is in front of you, who's to say you can stop another individual who's 5 miles away in an apartment building you've never seen?
No, what I'm saying is, you have to be conscious to have emotions, or do her dreams do the same thing?
Not that I know of.
So if she's unconscious, she can't feel sad, yeah?
Correct.
So my question is to the lot of you, not to you, because then that has to do, I don't know what it does. If we knock her out or put her to sleep in some sort of fashion, and we find one of these 5 or 6 people who can fix the problem. Why does she need to die?
What if we don't find that person?
Try this again. There's 5 or 6 people. She's asleep.
5 or 6 people in 7.4 billion.
Yes, and we have their names on a GPS sheet, just like the 32 people that she killed.
Do we?
If we have,
How's the dragon give it to you? Looks the dragon. Did you pass anything to him? Are you going to pass anything to him? No?
The dragon
Then
gives you a confused face. Confused face, dragon.
in order... I see what you're saying. There's a chance that she could be saved if we are able to put her to sleep immediately, explain it to her family, and then search for these people. The ability to search for these people may not be available to us. The only people who can come here are people that are deemed worthy, and or if they have quests significant to it.
Killing her might create the ultimate sadness, which makes the bomb in her brain go off and kill half the planet.
That doesn't make any sense.
Why not? When I die, I'm pretty sad about it. It says emotions reach a fever pitch. When you're about to die, I'm pretty sure your emotions reach a fever pitch.
What scientific study said this?
You know many dead people? Because I do.
Alright, you who talk to the dead, then great. So, if we kill her, then things will be worse. Alright, that's good logic. If we keep her alive, we at least have the chance to save her. But also the chance that it doesn't work.
or the chance
Like
for the
6 people.
technocracy to steal her from us.
Technically, we're allies with them. Doesn't mean she's safe from the worst. That's the thing, we would have to hide her.
Yes, exactly.
Well, that's exactly what
Do any of you have the capabilities to hide her away from someone like Cypher 9?
I don't.
Who is what now?
Exactly. Never mind, Darcy.
Well,
Thank you, Darcy.
yeah.
You can keep her safe.
I didn't say that. I could hide her away.
You can hide her away where Cypher 9 won't get her.
Well, he probably won't look for her and couldn't go, yeah.
No. That's not what I'm asking. You have a place that can keep her safe from Cyber 9.
As long as I don't tell any of you about it, yes.
See, that doesn't help. Because then if you're compromised, then she disappears.
Yes.
And she's in a worse place.
Well,
Because there are worse things than death.
not for the dead.
But didn't you say that like the technocrats had abandoned her? So why would they go looking for her? Like, I don't understand.
That would be the
Cypher
point.
9 is not a technocrat. He's
Oh.
worse.
And I have a question. Why would we be willing to keep her alive? A logical reason for that.
The simple fact of the matter is, wisdom is always hampered by emotion. And so there isn't a logical reason to do any of it. There's no logical reason to kill her, and there's no logical reason to keep her alive. It's just what you wish to do. Do you have the wisdom or temerity to live with the consequences of either one of the actions? That's all there is to it. What made you?
I just put out the pearl in your left hand has started to get warm.
What happened?
The pearl in your left hand has started to get warm.
Oh. Just kind of move it about. How do you summon Travataka?
What's up?
Bro, can you help?
You just break the pearl.
I'm really sorry. I hope this doesn't hurt. She drops the pearl to break.
Okay. There's a kind of a brief smell. It smells kind of like peaches. It's a very pleasant smell. And you will see standing um, uh, almost hazy and shimmering like a mirage. You will see. Hold on, let me just get this picture. Have I lost this picture? God. Fuck it. I have a picture of a Buddhist monk. This will do. Shopataka can be exceptionally femme if he wants to. Standing there, you will see this individual. At which point she looks at the dragon. The dragon bows its head. She returns the bow, or he returns the bow, and he turns to Lottie. And he smiles and he says, "Justice that is not tempered with compassion is not justice. Compassion is always an argument that is logical, because without it, there is only stark contrast. There is no justice."
Didn't I just say that?
I start to like this logic thing more and more.
Ultimately, she will turn and say to the dragon, looking up, "The higher soul is one that concerns itself, yes, not with emotion, the baser elements. However, compassion, virtue, these are the elements of the hung. These are the aspects of the higher soul. So it is, I would argue, that mercy is no emotion, but a higher state of being. It does not need bloodlust. It does not need the ability to kill. It is simply the ability by which one can show feeling towards in one another without feeling." At which point, the figure will vanish.
Duncan high fives his gran.
Thank you, Tripitaka. All right, then. Sounds like there's a plan.
Very well then. Who will speak on behalf of you?
I'll do it.
Very well.
Shite.
State your verdict, Duncan Campbell.
What?
Lottie really wishes for that alcohol.
Oh, yes.
Will she live or will she die?
She will live.
Why?
Because mercy is a virtue we shall aspire to.
You puppet another's words.
Yeah, I didn't say any rules that weren't about that. It just had to have an answer.
Oftentimes, wisdom is regurgitation. Very well. The girl who was once named Emily will live. He will hold out his huge draconic hand, and in it you will see a bright purple key. He is going to hold it out to Duncan.
Oh, look, there's a key. Well, let's take that then, huh? Yeah, okay. I'll take
For
the key.
yours, go grab it.
And I give you a gift, all of you together. You may ask one question of me, and I will answer. This can be anything that you wish to know, any one piece of information that you feel is valuable or pertinent. It can indeed be the name of one of the individuals who's most likely to help this girl, or it may be something entirely separate. That is for you to determine.
where is the place that we need to bring her
Whoa!
to?
Yeah.
It's not
Finish
one
his mouth.
question per
Oh,
person.
sorry. Out of
Buddy will
track.
just cover his mouth. Be like, murr, 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 murr.
Sorry,
One
out of
second.
track. I thought it was
1 second.
one question per person. Sorry
No,
for
it is
that.
one for all. It is one for all of you.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
That,
Buddy will bring the group 2 steps back.
that nearly ended in somebody being drowned in the pool of knowledge.
Yes, Buddy would drown him. Um, looks about. Okay, so we've got choices. We've got the obvious question to ask him. How can we? Who? Shit. Because we can ask him who the six are, or we can ask him where to find and defeat Cypher 9.
I mean,
Oh,
I would say go with the 6 because ultimately defeating that person that you say is worse than all technocracy. I mean, sure, it's important,
But it's
but
not our quest.
exactly, it's not what we're doing here now. And I feel that since we were like, okay, we don't want her to die, I feel that that also makes it somewhat our responsibility to fix this and to make
That's a
sure
good
that not
idea.
a lot more people die.
It
May,
takes precedence.
may I ask
Yeah,
may I ask? Well, if the question is why don't we just ask him how to do it as opposed to where the people are?
because ultimately, even if we know how to do it, that doesn't mean that we can do it.
Well, yeah, but we could those people who do know how to. If he does tell us how to do it, we can tell the people who know how to do it that are around us and get it done faster than going off on a quest.
Yes, but there's 6 masters that he says can do it, which I'm assuming means it's an absolute. I don't want to put her brain in the hands of someone who isn't completely sure.
But we know how to do it.
Pedro, what do you think?
I'm thinking pretty much it should be a clever question to envelop not only the names of the people, but also the how to do it. So I would go with something just like, could you narrate to us the course of actions and facts that will drive us to success, something like that, right? So then we envelop everything in a single question.
Uh, I mean, we can try, but I don't think that that's gonna work. I think he's just gonna say no because ultimately he'll understand that those are many questions in one.
We can ask who and how
I'm
can
gonna
proceed through the ritual.
I'm gonna throw a suggestion at you guys because at least one of you has common sense. Probably one of the better
It's not
questions.
Lottie.
I was gonna
It's
say
not
probably
Darcy.
probably one of the best questions you could ask in the way it could be phrased is, of the six, who is the most likely to be willing to do it?
Mm,
You don't really need to know how to do something if somebody is willing to fix.
Hmm.
perf. And if we know their name, we can definitely try to find them. Who has common sense here?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, Pedro, can you say that?
Yes.
Because Lottie has curiosity and short fuse
Uh-huh.
Okay.
and overconfidence.
That's a damn shame.
So
Oh, I have 2 out of those 3. This is why we like each other so much.
Duh.
Uh,
That's a damn sure.
so Mr. Who would be the person most willing to fix her out of the six that you mentioned?
The figure looks down as there's the blink of its large reptilian eyes, and it says contemplatively, the most willing, you say, strokes the shadowy beard. His name is Master Bao Se Shu of the Akashic Brotherhood.
Lottie's got a sharpie in her hand.
Archmagus of Mind and the Bodhisattva of Compassion.
Wow, say shoe. Can you spell it? You know what? I'm not even gonna ask.
He has the ability, and he is the most likely to be willing to do so.
Dearly noted.
And thanked. Thank you.
Actually, sorry, I apologize. I've gotten his name mixed up. His name is Bao Yaitling Jing, but, hey, still the same.
It's okay. That name is Sharpie markered onto Lottie's arm. She's misspelled Bodhisattva, but you know what? You can't blame her. Scratch out Bodhisattva. That's how you spell it. Yeah. Compassion.
Very well, man. Back up with me. In that case, as you leave the pagoda, having successfully completed the third trial, we will end our scene. So, thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another Scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.